Picture the late 1960s, a world obsessed with speed and progress. As astronauts reached for the moon, another race was unfolding on Earth, the quest to build a supersonic passenger jet. On December 31, 1968, a striking new aircraft soared over Moscow, the Tupolev Tu-144, the Soviet Union's answer to the supersonic dream. Its needle nose and sweeping delta wings stunned the world, a bold statement of Soviet technological ambition. The Tu-144 wasn't just a plane, it was a symbol of national pride and a challenge to the West. Its thunderous engines and futuristic design promised a new era: breakfast in Moscow, lunch in Kazakhstan. For those who saw it fly, the Tu-144 was both awe-inspiring and intimidating, a machine built to dominate the skies. This was the Soviet Union's vision of the future, roaring in at twice the speed of sound. The Tu-144's story is inseparable from the Cold War, a time when every technological achievement was a symbol of national power and pride. In the 1960s, technological supremacy was everything. The world's superpowers were locked in a relentless race, not just for military dominance but for prestige in science, engineering, and innovation. When Britain and France announced Concorde, the Kremlin saw it as a direct challenge. Soviet leaders demanded their engineers beat the West to the sky, turning aviation into a high-stakes contest. The pressure on Tupolev's engineers was immense. This was about national honor, and failure was not an option. Every blueprint, every calculation, carried the weight of the Soviet Union's reputation. On December 31, 1968, the Tu-144 took to the skies before Concorde, scoring a dramatic propaganda victory for the USSR and stunning the world with its speed. The world watched in awe as the sleek jet completed a flawless test flight, signaling Soviet victory in the supersonic race, at least for the moment. But getting airborne was just the beginning. The real challenge was only starting. Turning the Tu-144 into a safe, reliable passenger jet was a far greater challenge than simply being first. Every system had to be tested, refined, and proven. The first flight was a sprint. The real test was the marathon of development and certification, a process filled with setbacks and uncertainty. The engineers knew their machine was still raw and unproven, with many obstacles ahead before it could carry passengers safely. The journey from triumphant debut to regular service would be fraught with technical hurdles, unexpected dangers, and even tragedy. The Tu-144's story was only just beginning, and the race for supersonic passenger flight was far from over. At first glance, the Tu-144 and Concorde looked like twins: slender fuselages, delta wings, drooping noses. But under the skin, the differences are striking. The Tu-144 was bigger, designed to carry more passengers, reflecting the Soviet "bigger is better" philosophy. Its engines were powerful, but inefficient, needing afterburners to maintain speed, devouring fuel and limiting range. Concorde's engines were more refined, able to supercruise without afterburners. The Tu-144's double delta wing was less aerodynamically advanced, leading to unique solutions like retractable canards for low-speed control. Concorde was a finely tuned instrument for transatlantic travel. The Tu-144 was a brute force approach to the same problem. Both were marvels, but each reflected its nation's engineering priorities and constraints. The Tu-144 was complex and advanced, but it was built for a different world. It was a Soviet answer, not a copy. The Concordski nickname missed the real story. The Tu-144 was packed with bold engineering. Every inch of this aircraft was a testament to the Soviet Union's relentless pursuit of speed and innovation, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in aviation at the time. Its most famous feature, the droop nose, pivoted down for takeoff and landing, giving pilots a clear view of the runway. This ingenious solution was essential for safe operation at high speeds and steep angles, and it became an icon of supersonic design. Unique to the Tu-144 were retractable canards, small wings that improved low-speed handling, a clever fix for its less refined wing. These canards helped stabilize the aircraft during takeoff and landing, making the Tu-144 more manageable despite its immense power. And the landing gear was massive, with 8 wheels per main bogie, built to handle rough Soviet runways. This robust design allowed the Tu-144 to operate from less than perfect airfields, a necessity in the vast and varied Soviet landscape. Later models got new engines, finally allowing supercruise without afterburners and improving range. These upgrades marked a significant leap forward, making the Tu-144 more efficient and competitive with its Western rivals. The Tu-144 was a constant work in progress, with engineers racing to solve problems under immense pressure. Every breakthrough was hard-won, the result of countless hours of trial, error, and determination. Every feature was a response to a challenge, sometimes elegant, sometimes brute force. The design evolved rapidly, shaped by both necessity and ambition. It was a symphony of moving parts, each one a testament to Soviet ingenuity. The coordination required to make everything work in harmony was nothing short of extraordinary. The Tu-144 was never static, it evolved with every flight. Each test brought new lessons, and the aircraft was constantly refined in pursuit of perfection. Its innovations were sometimes troublesome, but always ambitious. The challenges faced were immense, but so was the drive to overcome them. This was engineering on the edge, where risk and reward were in constant balance. The Tu-144 was a marvel, even when it struggled, a bold experiment that left a lasting legacy in the world of aviation. Standing beside a Tu-144, you're struck by its sheer size and presence. Over 65 meters long, its slender fuselage and vast delta wings exude power and speed. The iconic droop nose and tiny cockpit windows hint at its supersonic purpose. The surface is a patchwork of titanium and aluminum, every line shaped by the demands of high-speed flight. The wings stretch endlessly, ending in sharp tips, with complex control surfaces along the trailing edge. The huge tail fin and retractable tail bumper reveal the challenges of keeping such a long aircraft stable. Unlike Concorde's refined elegance, the Tu-144 feels muscular and industrial, a product of its era. Thousands of rivets and rugged details speak to the immense forces it was built to withstand. It's a machine built by hand, before computers smoothed out every curve. The Tu-144 is both intimidating and magnificent, a true Soviet speedbird. Step inside the Tu-144 and you're in a time capsule, transported straight to the heart of the Cold War era. Every detail, from the upholstery to the overhead bins, speaks of a bold Soviet vision of the future, one that was both ambitious and unrefined. The cockpit is cramped, packed with analog dials and switches, painted in classic Soviet turquoise. It's a maze of levers and buttons, each one essential, yet intimidating to the untrained eye. Designed for 3 crew, the view is limited, and the workload immense. Pilots and engineers sat shoulder to shoulder, relying on teamwork and quick reflexes to keep the jet under control. The passenger cabin is surprisingly spacious up front, with bold 1970s decor and large windows for a supersonic jet. Bright colors and geometric patterns tried to distract from the utilitarian feel, but the experience was intense. Deafening noise, especially near the engines, made conversation nearly impossible. The roar of the jet was a constant companion, vibrating through every seat and panel. Passengers sometimes had to pass notes to communicate. Even simple requests or greetings were scribbled on scraps of paper, handed across the aisle with a knowing smile. The ride was fast, but far from relaxing. Turbulence and the sheer speed made every moment feel like an adventure, and some passengers gripped their armrests a little tighter. The crew faced constant challenges: complex systems, unreliable components, and extreme temperatures. Every flight was a test of both man and machine, pushing limits with every takeoff. The flight engineer monitored hundreds of gauges, while pilots wrestled with a demanding machine. Communication and coordination were crucial, as a single mistake could have serious consequences. Even the air conditioning struggled to keep up with the heat from supersonic flight. The cabin could become stifling, especially at top speed, adding to the sense of intensity. Flying the Tu-144 required skill, stamina, and nerves of steel. Only the most determined aviators could handle the pressure and unpredictability of this pioneering jet. It was a raw, visceral way to travel at Mach 2, a thrilling, unforgettable experience that pushed the boundaries of what was possible in aviation. The Tu-144's story is one of triumph and tragedy. Disaster struck at the 1973 Paris Air Show when a Tu-144 crashed during a demonstration, killing crew and bystanders. The cause remains debated, but the crash shattered confidence and delayed passenger service. The Tu-144 began as a high-speed cargo carrier before finally flying passengers in 1977. The service was brief, just 55 flights before another fatal accident and mounting problems ended the program in 1978. High costs, limited range, and reliability issues sealed its fate. The dream of Soviet supersonic travel was over almost as soon as it began. The Tu-144 became a symbol of what might have been. Its journey was turbulent, and its end, abrupt. Was the Tu-144 a failure? Commercially, yes, it was noisy, inefficient, and short-lived, but to call it just a failure misses the point. The Tu-144 was a staggering technological achievement, built under immense pressure with limited resources. Soviet engineers solved problems that pushed aerospace technology forward. They built and flew a Mach 2 airliner before anyone else. The lessons learned shaped future aircraft for decades. In the 1990s, a Tu-144 flew again as a NASA research platform, contributing to new supersonic projects. Today, surviving Tu-144s are museum pieces, monuments to ambition and ingenuity. The Tu-144 didn't change air travel, but it remains one of the most audacious aircraft ever built. Sometimes the attempt itself is worth remembering and respecting.